in their own discipline. And I believe actually Steve Jobs did that too. I believe Einstein did that too. You are honing your receptors so fine-tuned that when the inspiration comes, you're like that. You don't miss it. That little breeze, you sense it when the butterflies flaps. You hear the sound. When the leaf falls, you feel its breeze. You're so fine-tuned. Oh, my God, that's tough. Because it's so easy not to be. Skill is so easy. It's the easiest thing in the world. Experience is the most dangerous thing in the world. So what is it? What causes innovation? What causes change? Is this awareness, this questioning, this not knowing, this fighting with your mind not to be singular. We all use tools to do that. I use panic. I'm constantly panicking myself. I deliberately panic myself when I'm going to a shoot. I deliberately panic myself because I'm over-prepared. If you think that you prepared a lot for your exams and go in there and panic, it's probably your mind telling you to panic. Or some part of you tells me, and I walk on the sets every morning saying, today they'll find out that for 20 years I've been conning everybody. What am I doing? I'm panicking my mind to not interfere, not come in the way of, and all that preparation and all that expectancy of repetition to repeat what I had prepared for, that is the urge to repeat it and feel comfortable. So I'm getting myself out of the comfort zone of experience, out of the comfort zone of preparation, out of the comfort zone of habit and repetition, and allowing myself to be led by all those things that you ask me. Do you do this, do you do this, do you do this, do you do this? Allow myself to be led by all of those. I got away with that question, didn't I? Okay, who else? Yes.
Sir, when we are
No problem, sir.
we're small kids, we start to scribble something on the walls or even vehicle, whatever we come across, and we let our expressions set free. Like it may be chalk, it may be even a stone, and we just start scribbling. And when we enter the school, we are given a A4 sheet, white paper, so our imagination is bound on that paper. And our teacher tells us that okay, this is a landscape. There are two hills. There is sun rising from it, and there is a river flowing, and there are people who are flying. So practically speaking, I belong to a place where there was no hill. So I have even never had seen that kind of a scenery in my life. But that is the standard and kind of a drawing school or this drawing class is about. So if we take this example and if we see in the past that so many great inventors or this artists, they were not formal educated. So do you think that this formal education is killing the creativity inside?
That's what she used to do. And school taught her not to. And her creative skills went down. She's fighting to get back to it now. But I think that the honing of your skills is a discipline. Creativity is, but then everything is, life is, a peculiar kind of schizophrenia between wild rebellion and indiscipline and huge discipline. Yeah. One of the persons I'm dying to make a film on is Raman, who's the mathematician. How many of you know his story? Well, yeah, Anil knows all about it, but the fact is that today, when you look at your cell phone, rockets into space. His mathematics at that time were a revelation to the world of mathematics. And everybody, he went to Cambridge. He wasn't a trained mathematician. He was a thought. He had a slate, that's the maximum A4 size. He would do things on the ground. When he went to Cambridge, they were completely awed and shocked by his answers to all the theorems, etc. that they had. Then they asked him to prove it. He couldn't. That's why he had all these problems. He couldn't prove his equations. He just had the equations that were brilliant. And when he was asked, he said, the Devi gives them to me. The Devi comes to me at night, and I have all. Can you switch that off, please? Give that. Thank you. The Devi comes at night and gives me the solutions. What was the mathematics that the memory of a goddess in a temple brings to a man sitting in the cold night air, dying of TB in London? What was that? It's a fascinating idea. And he constantly failed in trying to prove it. But he had all the mathematical answers in the world. It was a creative intuition that probably never left him. I don't know where he honed his skills up from, but he was tapping into some source. So coming back to your question, there is a Ramajan where you don't know. I really don't know where it came from. Because it's easy to define a musician and an artist in that way. How do you define a mathematician in that way? I don't know if Anil has some words to say. I'm right about his story, right?
Yeah, what he used to do is he will prove and then erase with his hand like this, all of it, and just write the proof.
Yeah.
So some of them were proved because they were logical. Some were logical but not proved because they became conjectures.
Yeah.
So there's a whole school of thought today which is trying to prove some of his unproved conjectures. But in his mind he worked out them.
Yeah.
He had, but he wouldn't remember them. For him doing things twice was not fun.
Like
He would not like to do that again. So he used these were his words, these were his keywords, so to say. He escaped the trauma of doing things twice. He never would do things twice.
Yeah.
He never would do it twice. The moment was moment for him. Once he had arrived at the proof, he had enjoyed the beauty, and then he would leave it there. He will find ways of escaping the trauma of doing it again.
So your question really is, in order to stay creative, do you need to learn how to draw? I don't know, but I think that in order to be a great singer, you need to know the notes. So you're finding the discipline, maintaining a sense of indiscipline all along. That's the pressure. That's the pressure of being a creative person. You're owning your skill and keeping that rebellion alive. So that child in you is constantly there. That child that would draw on the wall. If you lose that child that draws on the wall, you've lost yourself. You've lost that. Then you're just owning a skill. But if you can keep both going, then you know where it comes from. So, yeah, but there are great poets who never learned poetry, weren't very good at language, but could present themselves. There are cases there. I'm not saying I'm great, I never learned filmmaking. I never went to school, I never read a book, I didn't assist anybody. I just went and made a film one day, because somebody gave me the money. So go on, ask me another question, yes.
So does creativity need to be nurtured, number one? And if yes, then does a formal system really have a way to do that?
It needs to be worshipped. creativity demands devotion. You need to be a devotee to be truly creative. Does that answer your question? There's a difference. There's no, devotion is a state of being. That's what creativity demands. Nurturing is a state of, oh, let's go nurture it. There's a difference. You're devoted.
My question was more around, so for somebody who's devoted, still needs a guru, spiritual guru you can call it. So a creative person, does he or she need a guru who can like give a path to it or channelize it? Or is it always so fluid that it just takes its own way?
My personal opinion? Yeah. The only reason you need a guru is the way you need a father to rebel against. That's really what a guru will do. You need somebody to rebel against. Because art is born of rebellion. Creativity is born of a fundamental sense of rebellion. Childlike qualities are born of fundamental sense of rebellion. Learning comes out of a fundamental sense of rebellion. Steve Jobs had this amazing sense of rebellion. Constantly was driven by it. They killed him. But he was driven by this fundamental sense of rebellion. So was Picasso. So is the Rahman. There's a fundamental underlying concept. So, do I need a guru? Yeah, of course I need a guru. I need guru after guru after guru to destroy them and kill them. But each time I have a guru, I have something to rebel against. They're wrong. You're wrong. I've seen too many people having gurus, and then that's the last I ever hear from. You need to rebel. You need to question. There's somebody, Buddha said that. You have a guru, kill your guru. Somebody did. Maybe I made that up. Yes.
So rebel and create something for yourself, or consciously try to create something for society?
I think we're not selfish in mind. I think that selflessness is a natural urge.
No, I'm saying it may not have sense to society, but you are creating, for example, you are creating a poem, but you are not creating a solution, technological solution which would solve problems of society.
No, I don't spend my day looking for solutions to society. I'm assuming that I'm on a path that whatever I do will ultimately find a way to better somebody's life or create happiness or joy or understanding or rebellion in somebody's life. So I think that, certainly I'm talking from a personal point of view, I think that in the natural course of our lives, in the natural course of our tendencies, is to actively do things to affect our communities. It's our natural desire to affect our communities. And so in that natural desire to affect our communities, you do things that sometimes will negatively affect the community and positively affect the community. It depends which way to go. I'm not going to make value judgments. But I don't think that, I've never looked at it like that. I must do something good. I have a feeling that I should do this thing and would be good for people. I'll do it. I don't actively look to do things that are good for people. I naturally fall into that. And I think people fall into those. So that's me.
How did you arrive at this?
Like, what?
Your assertion saying it is innate in everybody to do good for the society.
I think that, okay. I think love,
I don't know.
okay, let me try. I think love that is compassionate. Now look, please forgive me for going this way, but you asked me that question. But I think the love that is compassionate drives us to be compassionate. And I think essentially love that is not particular, that is not self-directed, that is not obsessive, that is not driven by ownership.
We are talking about models.
Yes.
Lesser being 9 to 5.
Yes. I think we all have a tendency to be like that. I think we all tend to be compassionate. How many of us can walk by and suddenly see a person, an old person fall and not at least have a tendency to go and help them? We may not do it, but we have a tendency to do it. I think we have a tendency to be compassionate. I think we have a tendency to be loving. I think that is the natural state of being that we are in. I think animals are compassionate. They'll kill for food, otherwise they're completely compassionate. They're driven by the survival of the species as we are. Beyond that, they're completely compassionate. We get confused sometimes. But I think that in that state of compassion, we're good people. We are non-violent, other than the natural violence of the universe, which is that, the Big Bang was a pretty violent event.
But then doesn't it make it selfish in a way itself? Because we crave for joy in ourselves. That's why we do those acts of compassion and all. So in a way that makes it a selfish thing to do, right?
Is that bad?
No, I'm just saying that again, it is not selfless anymore. It is again a selfish act.
I think selfless and selfish are moral judgments. I think that the state of action that you're talking about is something that you do. Then you define it, having done it, you say it's selfish act or selfless act, which is a later looking backwards at the event. But yeah, I agree with you. It could be completely what we can define later as a selfish act. I would say that Gandhi was, if you go back, is a man who, and I keep using Gandhi because he's used in India all the time. A man that was once wanting to be British, wanted to go to the bar, dressed like a British person, was completely humiliated and angry at a point where he was thrown out of a train in South Africa because he was white. Could trace Gandhi's history from that moment. It may be. So what drove it? Anger? Humiliation? Revenge? Against an empire that he had admired before that? Wanted to emulate a lifestyle before that? And suddenly that lifestyle came and bit him so hard that he fought back against it and evolved into a completely different man. Yeah? What was it? Look at what he achieved and what the effect he had and continues to have. Doesn't matter how you went there. Or maybe it does, but I'm saying that we don't ask that question. It was a selfish thing, something to do with himself. Buddha, if the fable is true, could not handle, his ego couldn't handle the fact that he would age. Completely selfish. I'm going to age, I'm going to die. Look at all those dirty people, I could be like them. Look at all these old women, look at their skin. I'm young, I'm youthful, I'm beautiful, I'm rich. I don't want to go there, I want to get old, I'm scared, I'm afraid. How do I get over this fear? I'm suddenly obsessed with my own mortality. I don't want to be obsessed with my mortality. I don't want to be sitting here in fear because I've had everything in my life. Everything possible I have. I am blessed. Why would I become like a low-caste person dying of some disease? I'm blessed. I shouldn't be like that. Off you went. To discover why these questions caused him so much pain. me to end
We'll
this.
take the last two questions. Yes.
You sound very impractical.
Completely.
So I was just wondering, like filmmaking must be a very practical business, right? So as a director, you're in charge of the film, you're supposed to get it completed. So is this one of the reasons why you make so few films?
So,
So few films, like over a period of time, you made not many films.
And probably an extension to that, do you like work with timelines, or you just decide that okay, we are artists, we'll sit together and we'll just let our creativity flow? And how do you like even finish a project with that? I think you know that.
you can answer. The reason I made so few films is because I'm not a filmmaker. When I was 24, there was a six-letter word that I dropped out of my life. I realized that I was being imprisoned by a keyword. I'm 24, everybody kept throwing that keyword at me, and it made me feel so guilty about my life. And can anybody guess what that keyword was?
Regret.
No, regret, I think they don't know. Job is 3 letters. Career. I just couldn't understand this word career. What's your career? So I'm saying, what do you mean career? Like 20 years down the line, I'll be doing the same thing. What made more sense to me was adventure. So, I never came into to make films to be a filmmaker as a career. I came to do it because I thought, what a great adventure it is. Just as sitting with Anil and the Innovation Council and dreaming of what we can do in innovation is another adventure that provokes me to do it. Just as an internet company I just launched, we're launching a new social media platform, which is because I feel that's the future. It's another adventure. That's what entrepreneurship is about, isn't it? So, filmmaking is an entrepreneurial activity for me. It's a dream. Every now and again, I go and indulge in a dream and I think, wow, this would be good. I'll do this, and I do it. Second question. There is creativity. There is a creative sense of creative being. But the communication of creativity is a very fundamentally disciplined idea. When the Gutenberg press came in, it effectively defined the way you tell stories. They could be put into one book and sold. When film came in, this effectively defined that this is how expensive it is. And so you work within those definitions of budgets, which mean nothing to me, but schedules do. Because if you don't have that, then it never ends. You're right. So you have to discipline yourself. And I find it very exciting. It's a rebellion. I rebel against time. And in the constant rebellion against time, I normally win. Because I use my creativity to beat time. Oh, I say, time. So you are saying to me that I can't finish this and get this kind of creativity or time for 3 hours. I'll show you, I'll do it in 20 minutes. You play games with yourself. I'll do it. And it provokes creativity, it provokes a challenge, it provokes rebellion, it provokes creativity. You find solutions. And that in itself is exciting. Much better than calling it a career, isn't it? The moment I say film's a career, it's gone. Everything's gone. The whole adventure is gone. I'm a mountaineer. Fantastic. I go climb mountains in my life. Wow. I'm a career. My career is mountaineering. Shit, I haven't climbed a mountain in the last month. I'm going to be a mountaineer as a career if I haven't climbed a mountain in a month. It's over. You don't agree with this guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
The conversation has actually now moved, so if you're okay with it, may I just write to you with a couple of questions I have?
No, you can ask now if you wish to.
I-
But you can of course write. He tweets all the time.
Yeah.
time back, we talked about singularity and
Similarity.
singular,
Singularity.
answers and how it might. And I sort of thought that, in your life, you talked about that scene that you were shooting, and it reached a point where the answer that you were looking for sort of came to you. At that point in time, you needed a singular answer. So it seems to me as if there are some points in time where we do need that one single answer. And we can give ourselves away and all of that, but if that one answer doesn't come to us, it somehow doesn't just work out.
I think I'll rephrase what you just said. You don't need a singular answer, you just need to act. You just talk the whole Gita right now. The whole idea of the whole Bhagavad Gita is exactly what you just said. You could go on questioning. You could go on questioning. You could go on. It's the time to act. So what leads to your action becomes it's not a singular answer. It's an act. You need to shoot your arrow. You need to take the arrow out of the quiver, put it to the bow, and you need to just shoot it because that's what you're supposed to do. That's not an answer. It's whatever happened all around, but then you act. It's action that causes that. How many of you seen Bandit Queen? Oh, I love it. There's a scene where when she was 12, she married a 32-year-old man, and it was a time when her husband raped her. I had no idea how to shoot the scene. No idea. So I told my DP, so just do general light. It was a set, it was very small. It was 1/10 or 1/20 the size of this room. And I said, light it. Do some general lighting. I'm thinking. I could hear all the noise around me. And there was this 12-year-old girl who was acting as a young Pulan Devi, who called me Shekhar uncle, or Shekhar Pai or something like that. And I sat there and said, could I find her sexually attractive? And I played games with myself. What if I was a pedophile? What would I find in her? Why would I find her sexually attractive? And I pushed myself. And I pushed myself. And I pushed myself. And I suddenly realized that the whole set had gone quiet while I was contemplating this, as if they could read my thoughts. And silence descended from the front. And I realized what I was doing. I was completely unaware of what I was doing. I was slowly walking towards her. I got off my chair. I was slowly walking towards her and staring at her, and she had obviously looked into my eyes with a look that she'd never seen before, and she was slowly stepping away. And I suddenly looked around, and I realized what I was doing. It was time to act, wasn't it? That became the first shot of the scene. So what route, how did I select that shot? How did that singularity happen? It happened suddenly.